John Lennon once remarked that George Harrison wasn't hip anymore. Let's delve into whether his assessment holds true. Even the Beatles had their moments of inconsistency. Case in point, John Lennon's comment about George Harrison's perceived lack of hipness. Let's examine the validity of his assertion. In the book Lennon on Lennon, Conversations with John Lennon, an interview from 1975 sheds light on Lennon's perspective. He expressed disappointment with one of George's live performances, stating, "Now it's always the Beatles were great, or the Beatles weren't great, whatever opinion people hold. There's a sort of illusion about it. But the actual fact was the Beatles were in for 8 months. The Beatles were out for 8 months." The public, including the media, are sometimes a bit sheep-like, and if the ball starts rolling, well, it's just that somebody's in, somebody's out, he elaborated. George is out for the moment, and I think it didn't matter what he did on tour. But was George truly out in 1975? That year, he released his album Extra Texture, Read All About It, which peaked at number 8 on the Billboard 200 and remained on the chart for 11 weeks. While this doesn't categorize Extra Texture, Read All About It, as a failure per se, its performance didn't match the success of some of George's other albums, like All Things Must Pass or Cloud 9. Extra Texture, Read All About It, spawned 2 singles, You and This Guitar Can't Keep From Crying. The former reached number 20 on the Billboard Hot 100 and spent 10 weeks on the chart, outperforming This Guitar Can't Keep From Crying, which failed to chart at all. This discrepancy is notable, especially given George's nod to nostalgia, with a title reminiscent of While My Guitar Gently Weeps. However, the music landscape is unpredictable. Songs from past eras, such as Lady Gaga's Bloody Mary, Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill, and Sophie Ellis Bextor's Murder on the Dance Floor, experienced resurgence in the 2020s. Similarly, tracks from Extra Texture, Read All About It, could find newfound popularity at any moment. Despite John's lukewarm reception of some of George's live performances, he harbored no ill will toward him. In response to George's statement about not playing with Paul McCartney, John expressed openness to collaboration. "I could play with all of them," he affirmed. "George is entitled to say that, and he'll probably change his mind by Friday." "We're all human. We can all change our minds," he continued. "So I don't take any of my statements or any of their statements as the last word on whether we will. And if we do, the newspapers will learn about it after the fact. If we're going to play, we're just going to play." Despite occasional setbacks, George remained a valued musical collaborator in John's eyes.